Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Co-op Podcast, episode 125. I'm your host, Richard Bailey Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Gary A. Swaby. What's up, Gary?
What's good? I had no internet for 4 days, so you can imagine my struggle. But it's good to be back on the internet and good to be back chopping it up with you guys about video games.
Definitely. Glad you got your internet back. I also had an issue as I did not have my iMac all week. I still don't have my iMac, so yeah, had some technical issues, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll become a PC gamer now. But we're also joined by Mr. Jake James Lugo. How's it going, Mr. Lugo?
I'm doing all right. I feel bad for you, Gary. I feel a little bit bad for you too, Rich, but I also feel bad for myself because I couldn't even play some of my games on PlayStation Network this whole week, which is a little annoying.
Well, here we go. That was a warning. Definitely something about that. I didn't get to play that many PlayStation games this week, but this should be interesting. But wait a second. We have a special guest, Mr. Corey Dillon. What's up, Corey?
What's up? All good.
I see he got the Mass Effect 3 shirt. So can we expect a shocking revelation at the end of this episode from you?
Sorry, nothing as exciting as 3 different colors, but I'll try.
All right, hey, sounds good. So, let me go ahead. Before we jump into the topics, I wanted to ask you guys what you've been playing. How about you go for it first, Corey? Let us know what you've been playing.
Well, I finished Arkham Knight for now. There's a lot of shit that's on the way for it, so I took a break from it because I don't want to run out of stuff to do. So I'll hold off on platinum it until Batgirl stuff and some other DLC comes out. I want to get the Batman Beyond suit to play through it, so I'm kind of, it's hard because I really want to play that game. But I did all the annoying trophies, so I don't got much left to do. But yeah, I'm back to Witcher 3 right now. I actually got to Skellige, the second island you go to, and just sailing around because it's so fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
That's about it for now.
Sounds good. Congrats on finishing Batman. I haven't really even got a chance to really get deep into it, but I do like what I see so far.
Yeah, it has its moments for sure.
Yes, definitely. How about you, Gary? What you been playing?
I didn't get to play much this week. It was pretty busy. I played some Batman while my internet was down because you don't need the internet for that game. I still haven't got very far though. I've just been doing a lot of side stuff like deactivating the bombs and stuff like that.
There's a lot of cool side stuff to do. You get distracted really easily.
Yeah, that's the thing in that game. You get distracted real easy. Like, you just, I don't even know what to do anymore. But yeah, it's a good game. I need to dig into it a bit more. Get a bit further with it. I'm also still playing The Witcher. I managed to complete one quest this week. I'm in Skillage or however you pronounce it, which is.
I thought it was Skillage too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll beat that game sometime soon because like I already spent like 50 hours in it or something, and I'm still nowhere near the end of that game. So.
Oh, me neither. Fallout will come out before that game is done.
Yeah, and they're adding more content to the game too. That's what's crazy. So.
Yeah, that's nuts. New patch is supposed to add a lot of cool shit to it. Fix the fucking inventory. Good God.
Yeah. Besides that, I played a bit of Destiny today, and yeah, I'm still enjoying that game. Well, that's about it.
Sounds good. How about you, Mr. Lugo? What have you been playing?
As usual, all the time, I'm very busy playing all kinds of games, all kinds. So there's been a variety of games I've been bouncing, back and forth with. One of which I still can't talk about yet, but you guys are going to be seeing my review of it at the end of the month, which is going to be cool. It's going to be a Vita game, which is all I can say about it. But besides that, there's been a bunch of PlayStation 4 games I've been playing, a couple of which have been having a couple of issues online here and there. First one I've been playing, which actually has been surprisingly had no issues whatsoever. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Sword, A Realm Reborn, or whatnot.
Good shit.
Diving into that, it's been fun. It's been interesting just checking it out. I'm going to hopefully be doing some freelance projects with that game very soon, which should be dope. Besides that, I've been playing Mortal Kombat X. I've been exploring the Predator DLC that came out on Tuesday, I believe it was. And I've just been messing around with Predator. And ironically enough, funny enough, I can't get a good match online for whatever reason with MKX. Their servers, they haven't had the most stable netcode, and just their matchmaking is kind of terrible. There's, for whatever reason, every time I try to get into a good match that gets displayed as a good connection, there's always some like major lag that goes on, or I'll get disconnected for whatever reason. But playing with the Predator offline as like a little bit off-the-cuff impressions has been cool. He's probably the most dynamic DLC character to come out with the game thus far, because he has a lot of interesting interactions with just about the entire cast of Mortal Kombat X, which is cool, especially if you watch the classic Predator movie, specifically the first Predator movie. There's a lot of nods in there for a variety of different reasons, along with the free DLC content, the actual costumes that kind of hark back to the Predator movie. You get a costume for Johnny Cage, you also get a costume for Jax that puts them in the same characters between Arnold and the guy that played Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies. They actually have like outfits that kind of like look like them from the Predator movie, which is pretty neat. So besides that, also I've been playing and trying to play online Rocket League. Now Rocket League, I'm trying to write a review for the game for the site, and the problem that I'm having is that there's been a variety of issues some of which we'll get into. But like, there's been all kinds of online issues and connection problems with Rocket League that just hasn't been working properly. So I've been able to play offline and kind of play with the computer opponents and such, which has been fun, definitely fun. But that game definitely lends itself to PvP play, online and such. So I really want to kind of explore that before I really pass like a final judgment on the game. And finally, just kind of to wrap it up, I did a review for J-Stars. Victory Versus Plus over on the site. I scored it in about the 60s. You guys can check out the full review on the Coalition now. That game wasn't very good. I expected a lot more of it, and certain things that were done better in other anime-based games that are done by the same company. It's such not the same dev team, but kind of like published by the same company, were not handled well in J-Stars. It's really a love letter to anime fans that love the Shonen Jump animes, but definitely the game could have been a lot better overall. But that's what I've been playing. I've been all over the place lately.
Sounds good. Yeah. It sounds like all of you have been very busy with these games. Well, I did get to play a little bit of Arkham Knight. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat anything else that was said. So far, it's a great game. I still have a lot more to play of that. For 4th of July, I really celebrated Independence Day in style because I got a platinum for Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. So I guess you could say, yeah, go America, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that was great. That was good. Aside from that, I did play Mortal Kombat. I do have some complaints about the Predator DLC. Listen, the character is okay, not really all that impressive. And I really hope that they are planning on releasing other characters, because after playing with this character, the other two were okay. Jason was all right. Tanya's okay, but to me, it just doesn't feel like it's enough. So I expect them to announce more characters at some point, maybe another season pass, because apparently this is a big practice now that the 2K does with the Evolve game, getting a second season pass. So why not? Yeah, let's do that.
That still pisses me off.
Oh yeah, it does. It pissed me off as well.
But these Predators still pretty good.
Game, but that's terrible.
I mean, Predator's still pretty good as a DLC character, and again, he seems like there was a lot more work put into him than a little more so than the other characters. But my problems with him, well, for the most part, really stem for that. I wish there was more outfits. I wish that maybe some of his fatalities are a little bit much more gruesome or a little bit more dynamic. Like, he has one good fatality, and that's the one with the plasma cannon. The other one I just felt was just like a little bit like whatever. Just like the other DLC characters, their their was it fatalities have been whatever. They haven't lived up to that standard, which I myself for years have given the series for, like these crazy fatalities.
That's true. That's true. Um, well, it's all good. I didn't really get to play too many games on PlayStation this week, so I look forward to when you tell me about all the issues with PSN. But one thing I will say, I was on Xbox most of the week. I did get to see the Xbox Live Ultimate Sale, and I have to say this before we move forward. Microsoft, they did an okay job with the sale, but they have a lot more work to do because some of the games that were on there is okay. I still think they could have did a hell of a lot better though, and they really should look at how Steam has their sales because they have a sale going on. The same products are on sale for I believe about 7 days, which is fine, but they could have ran specials, throughout each day on other games that people wanted. Because Mortal Kombat was on there. The Witcher 3 wasn't on there. I was very curious as to why that wasn't on there, because it's only a month apart from Mortal Kombat. But I guess it is what it is. But
I think they still think people are buying it in droves that they're not putting on there yet.
I see. Or saving it for, holiday sale stuff. But
Yeah.
Correct. But yeah, they still need some work to do. I mean, I got Ori and the Blind Forest. I didn't get to play it yet. I'll talk about that next week. But yeah, Microsoft, y'all could do a little bit better with these sales. But that's all I'm gonna say about that for now. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the topics. Of course, there wasn't that much news this week, but there was some stuff that we definitely need to discuss. So everybody is aware that right now San Diego Comic-Con is going on.
Yep, all weekend.
And of course, at Comic-Con, Capcom decided to reveal a new look for Ken. A character there everybody knew was going to be in Street Fighter V.
I was a little curious about that when I saw that.
Why though? I mean, I think it looks cool.
Well,
I just said I was curious. I didn't say he looked bad.
Oh, I thought you said you were furious. I was like, wait,
no,
why
I said
would you be
curious.
mad?
No, yeah. but I am furious. I am furious. No.
Why are you furious?
Oh well, hey, the character looks a lot different, which is a good thing. Maybe it's also a confusing thing for those that already know how Ken looks. They're gonna be like, well, why does this character look so dramatically different from Ryu?
You don't look that different.
Yeah. So
he doesn't look that different like that. I mean, so what if he's got like the little, was it curled up hair or whatnot, or rolled up hair or whatnot? It's still Ken.
Well, now he looks like an asshole. He's just angry.
He looks like an asshole. That's an asshole costume.
I think Ken's pretty much been kind of like an asshole for the entire series, if you really think about it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
he used to be a happy asshole though. He used to be a happy asshole.
just a little bit cocky. Now he's just angry.
A little cocky little rich boy.
Yeah,
it's a masterpiece, Ken Masters. You don't know that?
Yeah, he's a masterpiece, all right. So what did you guys think of the character? Are there any other characters that you think we will definitely be in this game? And who was the character that they revealed at the end?
Well, basically what happened is that at the end of the Ken trailer, there's a small little tease for what normally, like what Capcom does, they kind of tease whatever the next character is going to be revealed. Now, I did a little bit of research and talked to some people, in the FGC and such, that have been kind of like dissecting this trailer. A lot of people are starting to say now it's going to be a brand new fighter that's original, something fresh, that's going to be based out of New Zealand, which is going to be a different country that's going to get representation now in the Street Fighter series. Now, another thing on top of that, as if that wasn't enough when this trailer dropped, but there's been rumors from a lot of credible sources, I believe a couple of them going towards Polygon and maybe like one or two other spots, including event hubs, that Alex from Street Fighter Third Strike and also Urian from Street Fighter Third Strike is also going to be revealed at some point. Now, those two characters have been unconfirmed. Okay, this is all still rumor, and it's still just coming from sources that they're claiming are close to the development team or whatnot, or at least on the inside. But that's still pretty exciting because, number one, I've been asking for Alex since Street Fighter 4. I've been, because I know he's made appearances in Tatsunoko versus Capcom, but I always wanted him back in the Street Fighter games and such. But it'd be interesting to see now, since we're connecting more of like the timeline and a lot of the lore of what's going on with Street Fighter V to Third Strike. That means that more Third Strike characters are going to be making a little bit much more of a presence, and I'm excited about that. That sounds like it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so any other thoughts?
Yeah,
Gary, you were saying.
yeah. I'm gonna come clean, man. Like I don't like that Ken model. Like he looks like a created character, like a generic created character. Like it looks like they gave him E Honda's face, the slim version, and then like just slapped on yellow hair, like some the brightest yellow hair they could find. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm not a fan of the model. He looks weird.
well, he can't look that bad. Surely he can't. You know, I know Corey said he look awesome, right?
I said I was curious about it. My thing
Well,
is, if you're gonna make a character look older, you can do that. That's fine. Like they did Bison really, really well.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we'll have to see. Like, this wasn't what I was expecting for. I'm not a big Street Fighter fan, but I know enough. But like, I'm just curious why they chose him to make him. This is his older look or whatever.
well. Now you have brought something to light that I didn't know. How long is this game? What is the time of this game? How many
This
years have
game,
passed?
this game takes place before Third Strike, but it's like right beforehand. I know it's after Street Fighter 4, and this is obviously the characters are all getting older. Like the Street Fighter 2 characters, we're seeing them age, which has been kind of like a running theme now as we get more closer to the Third Strike like era or that time frame and
Yeah.
such. You could definitely see that with characters like Bison. Obviously, Ryo. Ryo looks a little bit much more closer to how he looked in Third Strike, even though his design really hardly changes throughout all the games. But you could start to see him look a little bit more wore down, a little bit much more, like he's been through a lot of stuff, like he's been used up for that point. But all the characters are seeming like that. I'll even go in there and say the same thing about Chun-Li, which again, Chun-Li looks very close now to her Third Strike as far as her aesthetic.
To borrow what you said about the character looking wore down, I think from what I have seen, the one character that has changed the most is Charlie.
Well,
The
Charlie
character,
hasn't been in the game since Alpha, and like that's a big jump, obviously, in the timeline and the lore and the story and such. Charlie, for the longest time in most of the games, he was dead. And obviously, hopefully, they kind of explain some stuff that happens that kind of like is an explanation for him like making a return somehow.
oh no,
Yo, I got a question about Ken though. Like in Street Fighter 5, does his move set seem kind of different to Ryu's?
Yes, yes. I mean, based off of what I played at E3, and then also like what I've been following and such, some of the moves still look similar. Like again, there's some noticeably similar things from their previous iterations of like Ryu, Ken, Bison, Chun-Li, etc. But obviously the inputs and a lot of like the way that certain moves are done and handled during fights are radically different. So not just the inputs. Like you obviously have your Hadouken, you have your Shoryuken, you have your Hurricane Kick and all that stuff. But then they get like new types of like moves into their arsenal as well as new abilities. Because remember in Street Fighter V they have those like certain character specific abilities that give you certain kind of like buffs or debuffs against your opponent and such.
Hmm.
All that comes into play and comes into account. That really changes up the dynamics of a lot of the matchups. Again, I got to play with like 3 of the 4 characters that were available in the demo for E3. Now, when the beta comes out, we're going to have 5 now because we're going to be able to play as Ken in the beta.
yeah, the beta is the end of this month or towards the end of the month. So
Yep.
that sounds good. So final thought on Street Fighter. So everybody here is definitely going to buy Street Fighter 5, correct?
I won't because I'm not a big Street Fighter. I'm not very good at those games. I like the series. Just I can't play them.
I got you.
I'll probably pick it up later. I'm not gonna get it day one. I don't think for me. I mean, I'm a fan of Street Fighter, but I'm not a die-hard fan of Street Fighter like a lot of other people are. So I'm not gonna pre-order this game. I'm not gonna probably buy it day one, but I'll definitely eventually end up playing it at some point.
How about you, Gary?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Just I mean, Mortal Kombat has kind of given me a taste for fighting games, and this one is an exclusive on the PS4. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely buy it because it sparked my interest enough. So
And it's cross-play with PC, so there you go.
Yeah, and it's crossplay with PC, which is pretty cool.
that's
Well,
cool.
the last thing I will say about this, I'll definitely consider playing it. But first, I need to make sure that it actually works when it comes out because of what happened with Ultra Street Fighter 4. And to stay on the topic of Sony, let us now discuss the news that we received this week about Destiny's new bundle for PlayStation 4 for the Taken King DLC.
Is that
So,
the console bundle?
yes, it
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
console.
the new console, that the SKU and
So,
the one with the bigger hard drive and such.
so let me say this right now before I ask you guys' opinion. I think the console looks awesome, but I have no
Oh yeah.
idea why.
I mean, look at I just saw it just now,
Yeah,
and it
but
looks cool.
see, here's the thing. I think it looks great, but I'd have to question why, because this is DLC. This is not
Yeah,
a.
it's a bundle for an expansion.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, go ahead. Tell me what do you think of this, JJ? Does this make you now want to get the Destiny PS4 bundle?
Well, for me, again, I've been waving the Destiny flag for a long time, ever since probably the beginning or close to the beginning. Such this does nothing for me. I know that there'll be probably that fan or two, or a couple people, a couple thousand people out there that probably end up buying this because they're hardcore Destiny fans. This to me, it doesn't bother me so much that it's a actual console bundle for a DLC, because there was a console bundle for a movie that was a PlayStation 3 back in the day. If you guys don't remember, that was the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children one, which I kind of alluded to the same thing. It's not a full retail game like that, and it's just like an extra type of bundle, either for the hardcore collector or for the fan that maybe likes Destiny or is appealed by Destiny that just hasn't bought a console yet, that hasn't bought a PlayStation 4 yet. So it doesn't bother me that much. It's there if you want to buy it and such.
Yeah, obviously for someone who has never experienced Destiny, I totally understand that. I find it a little really that's interesting.
I totally get where you're coming from, that maybe it's a little bit much as far as, having another console SKU specifically for the Taken King. That seems a little bit much. I'm surprised there isn't any console SKUs for PlayStation 4s based off Sony first-party games instead of a third-party. And now, granted, Destiny's a big
Well,
deal.
well,
They've done that with Call of Duty before.
Give it some time.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, you got big things coming down the line. You're getting an Uncharted collection coming down the line. What about a SKU for that? You're getting God of War remastered, God of War 3 remastered. Sorry, it's not the collection. It's one game,
no,
but still.
yeah, but that I think you'll see that with the release of Uncharted 4 next year. There will possibly be a bundle. My whole thing is this: is that I don't know if it's confirmed, and I have not seen nothing to let me know it is confirmed. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Metal Gear Solid
I wouldn't be
PlayStation 4
surprised.
bundle.
I would not be surprised. Like, here's the funny part. Like, there are certain games you could just visualize in your head will get that type of treatment or get those type of bundles. It's Metal Gear, Final Fantasy VII Remake, okay, and Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are legit. I could definitely see something like that happening, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. It'd be kind of cool. If anything, I really think, though, that these types of SKUs for the consoles should really be geared or really be kind of themed towards Sony's first parties. Okay, again, I say maybe because Destiny is a big deal, obviously, and they've been showing a lot of love to Sony. You saw the same thing with Call of Duty on the Xbox front with such. But again, to me, the ones that I think would be a little bit much more special would be the same ones that kind of like cater to those first-party games. Kind of like the PlayStation 20th anniversary SKU. I really wish Sony would bring that back for more people to go get.
Oh yeah,
Wanted it and such. And funny enough, they're bringing back the controller,
yeah,
but
the
not
control.
the console, which I find hilarious. But
Well, maybe
I
here's
really
my
wish that
thing.
those
Maybe
were
this
done
is-
more for first parties.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I really wish those were done more for first parties.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that the special edition console, it's cool, but I think like unlike the controller, I think that there's like I don't know. I don't think they can produce that as easily as say like a Batman special edition or something like that. I think there's something with that there was a reason why it was limited. Because didn't they have like special sound effects from PlayStation 1 and stuff?
Here's the thing: you could get that in a theme on
Mhm.
PlayStation Network.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and also for your Vita, you could do the same thing. You could get all
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just limited just to those consoles. I mean, here's the thing: everybody, specifically for that 20th anniversary one, people wanted them, and people kept asking Sony for more of them or whatnot. They just didn't do it. They just did a limited run of it.
yeah. People ruined it, of course.
Well, yeah, people kept ordering overseas, or they ordered multiple and such, and obviously there was that big controversy where a lot of media outlets were getting units for the unboxings and stuff, which is, whatever have you. You could think what you will, but still, I still think that at some point Sony should have produced more of them and given it to more people, making it available for people to buy, because clearly there was a lot of demand for it.
And that was just money sitting on the table right there.
That's right. It's all about that money. But you have any final words you want to add to this topic, Gary? Because I know you said that you're still playing Destiny. So does this mean that you will now go out? You know what? I know I got a PC. The game is not on PC. It's good on PlayStation 4. Why don't I now go out and spend $400 or pounds and get myself the new bundle?
Well, firstly, I want to give a shout out to Icon, who will be buying his fourth copy of Destiny for the PS4.
Oh, what?
Keep in mind,
I played with that dude. That dude is a beast in Destiny.
Yeah, keep in mind that I said fourth copy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because he has it on the Xbox One as well, so that's like five copies.
Okay.
That's 5 copies of Destiny.
That man is a beast.
And he already has like 2 PS4s, so he's gonna get this bundle, and you know. So shout outs to him because he takes this seriously, and yeah, like you said, JJ, he's a beast on that game, and I've been in parties with him and his squad.
Oh, I love playing with him. He's so good.
Really just Galahorn everything down.
Not he's sneaky too. Like when we play sometimes PvP, we'll go into the Crucible and stuff, and he'll go on these runs, like these hot streaks. I remember playing with him one time. We were playing what is it? We were playing the Capture the Flag one where it's like domination, control. We were playing Control, and this man literally just went on a hot streak, just decimated the entire other team, and he kept going too. Like he was talking mad smack during the time we were playing. It was awesome.
I wish they only would have recorded that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, shouts to him, man. That's my Jamaican brother right there. But yeah,
just talking that shit the whole time. That's awesome.
As far as my thoughts on that, that's hilarious that they're creating like a special console for a DLC expansion. But
that's kind of frightening if you think about it.
It's very important, Gary. Very important.
This is the world we live in now. This is 2015. This is what we have.
That's very good. Oh,
it's a new precedent, but you know what? Again, I just wanted to reiterate. I don't have any problem with the design, and I still am drooling over that Batman Arkham Knight PS4 because that was nice as well. But yeah, interesting.
Oh, it looks like Corey's got that PS4.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was a little loud. Go on.
Oh, no problems. So I'm going to now do something a little bit different. There was a few things that you know about JJ that you wanted to bring up, a few topics that happened this week. I'm gonna let you talk about that because I don't know any of this stuff. So I will have something to say about it, but go ahead.
Well, first thing that I alluded to before was about Rocket League. Now, again, I'm doing the review for Rocket League now for the Coalition, and one of the problems I've been having, in order to kind of complete my review, is that I haven't really been able to get online to play the game. There's been a couple of different reasons because the game got released on this past Tuesday, on not only just over PlayStation Network but also on PS Plus. It was available for free on PlayStation Plus, so you could, if you haven't already, you could go download it right now if you didn't know about it. But basically, there's been issues popping up with the online connection of Rocket League, like actually connecting to their servers to get onto online matchmaking. That's been a complete mess. It could be because of so many people trying to get online to actually download the game and play the game online. That could be one thing. But there was another problem that popped up, which was totally unexpected, and since then has been kind of updated. So I'll kind of tell you guys the original story, and then I'll give you guys a little bit of the update of what happened. Basically, when you're running the game on your PlayStation 4, a lot of people who've been playing it have been reporting that their PlayStation 4s have been overheating and then eventually bricking when they were actually running the game. And it's been narrowed down to specifically this game. Now, it's not a huge widespread issue amongst people, but there's been enough people talking about that their console has been noticeably louder, has been heating up a lot more faster when playing this game, which is a little bit disturbing. That's a little bit weird to me that all of a sudden just randomly a game like that doesn't really look that taxing on the PlayStation 4. Like if you look at it like both graphically and just gameplay wise, you don't think that it's really pushing the hardware that hard.
Yeah,
but
something's speeding up the GPU or something's speeding up something.
Yeah, something's happening on the inside, but it's been doing that, and people have been reporting these types of problems. So eventually, the developers of the team, Psyonix, I hope I pronounced that right, Psyonix, basically they've been releasing a patch, okay, for it, or at least a couple of different patches that have been happening over a series of like a good, I want to say almost like a couple of hours here and there on PlayStation Network. I know earlier today I got an update for Rocket League, and I haven't even booted up on my system because, I don't want all of a sudden my actual console to get overheated and then I can't play my PlayStation 4 games. That would suck. So, but a couple of different things have been, been posted about it, on their actual blog. So, two most recent actual updates that they say is that hot fix deployment has been gone out within the next 5 minutes. Servers are going to be down and such, so they've just been pretty much rolling out the update. The last one that they posted up, which was at 3:20 p.m. today, Pacific Standard Time, I believe. Okay, it says hot fix deployed. Servers are slowly coming back online over the next 15 minutes, and basically that's all they said. So since then, there hasn't been really any sort of like update about it. We haven't heard any sort of problems. Again, a lot of this stuff has been happening today as of the time we're recording this actual co-op podcast. So that's pretty funny. That's pretty interesting. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it.
You have any thoughts, Gary?
I didn't even know this game existed until, Jay.
Well, hey, listen. I do have something to say after you, Gary. Go ahead.
No, that's crazy to hear. Games are causing these issues on consoles. Like, imagine a game that you play being able to brick your console. That's scary.
That is frightening.
Yeah. Especially with these lazy developers nowadays. Like, imagine if some big mainstream the game comes out.
Whoa, wait a second. Whoa, lazy developers. Who was this? Who could that possibly be?
I mean,
you want a list or you want the short version?
Yeah, you want a whole list or what?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Oh, so.
I was just gonna say, I don't know anything about this game either. I'm pretty sure that when the developers made this game, they wanted the game to be a success, to have a reputation, and now it has the worst reputation that it can have. But let me ask you a question, JJ, just so I get more perspective.
Sure.
What is the issue with PSN? Because the PSN, people have been telling me all week the PSN is terrible, and I'm like, well, I just downloaded Predator DLC. I didn't have no issues, so. What is the PSN issue related to this at all, or is this just the game?
Well, here's the thing. With the PlayStation Network specifically, I think it's because of all these different online stuff that's been rolled out. Again, a lot of games came out on Tuesday. A lot of stuff's been happening ever since Tuesday of this week. And just coincidentally, it just happens to be problems and issues that keep showing up, and PSN keeps mentioning with it. So maybe that's the reason why. Specifically with Mortal Kombat X, I think the problem is that a lot of people, at different times got their got the Predator DLC where they were able to download it. I know I had to wait till about later in the evening to actually download the Predator DLC because I actually wanted to play it early that day and maybe write something about it, but I wasn't able to play it. Like I put in my game, I had the actual content downloaded, which was like kilobytes. It was very small overall. But I wasn't able to play it. Like, it was just updating throughout the day, and I was like, man, this is a little bit annoying. So, and a lot of people were complaining about the same thing. So put that in conjunction with what was happening with Rocket League, and maybe I think also maybe in a couple other games, I'm not sure, but still, it's just maybe just a comedy of errors, just bad timing on their part.
Remember when Arkham Knight came out? Because I remember I had DLC and I had update patch. That shit, it wasn't very big, but that shit took a long fucking time. You bet your ass everybody and their mom was trying to download that game on Tuesday. So I'm saying exactly. it was probably a big part of, probably didn't help Rocket League at all.
Well, yeah, specifically with that.
It probably didn't help Predator at all either.
It could be because, again, so many people just, going online and getting all this stuff at the same time and probably bombarding the servers and whatnot. But also, it could be any number of issues. I think specifically the Rocket League stuff is just a thing unique to that game, like that. And then, again, we've had the same issues with Mortal Kombat X in the past with other past DLC, like Jason was another one that's happened too. And I think Tanya, it happened the same thing with Tanya. That Tanya, for a lot of people, they got it later that day rather than at like midnight or earlier in the day when it was supposed to be released.
No, that's not. They need to work on that.
There was some other stuff though that was crazy, which is kind of plays into a little bit of all these online connection issues. That was the thing that happened with H1Z1 and PlanetSide 2. So
Yeah.
basically what happened was recently the guys over at Lizard Squad, one of the people that was, I guess, some sort of leader or somebody that like helps direct, these DDoS attacks from Lizard Squad, ended up getting caught. And they actually, what is it, they were being tried, I think it was like for 5,000 or something cases of malicious intent with
Nice.
with hacking. Yeah, there was a lot of issues that they were being charged with. There was like 5,000 something charges, a lot in the country that they got caught in. And the crazy part was is that the government actually sentenced them to actually work with the government, work with their online security force in order to help strengthen their actual ability to fight cyber terrorism, which a lot of people were not, they had varying degrees of opinions about it. And a lot of some people were upset because they felt like, this guy did 5,000 different accounts or different cases of stuff that which he was malicious with his
But is he
cyber
going to learn
abilities.
anything otherwise? That's the other part of it.
That's the other part also. Again, like, is he really going to be getting any sort of like punishment or any sort of like, consequences for his actions by working with the government like that, or is he just being praised? That was the big question as such. But how this relates to what happened recently, though, is that I think it was one of the developers was actually talking a little bit about like what was happening with the Lizard Squad, and the guys, what's it called? The guys over at Lizard Squad, that group, ended up DDoSing, attacking both PlanetSide 2 and H1Z1 servers. So pretty much you weren't able at all to play those games online because they were just getting bombarded by traffic and information for the longest time. And it was pretty insane. I know a lot of people were a lot of people thought it was a little bit comical, but there was a huge amount of people that were pretty upset about this. Because again, the guys that were running the servers were not prepared for this whatsoever. And again, nobody really expects, that type of reaction, but just by
you can't block it, DD. You can't prevent it. That's the problem.
I mean, there's ways to kind of like prepare yourself a little bit for it, but it's very hard to kind of stop it, and very hard to actually like obviously predict when that's going to happen, but really kind of like combat that. You have to kind of just deal with it when it happens, pretty much.
Oh, that makes sense. Make a lot of sense. Well, I really don't know what is going on with the people who do decide to mess with these networks at different times of the year. I know last holiday season, I was annoyed because my brother had just got
that was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, my brother just got a game and I was trying to play him, but couldn't do it online. So
that sucks.
Was all I know is that hey, I really do think that I know that Microsoft and Sony both had comments talking about. No, Phil Spencer made a comment particularly about working with Sony to try and make sure that this stuff doesn't happen in the future. But they really actually do need to do that because
here's another thing though, Rich. Here's another thing that you should actually check out because I was actually just skimming through the article again. Some of the stuff that's been posted about it.
Yeah.
And on top of the DDoS attacks, and stuff that these guys, at the developer team for both of these games had to deal with, a couple of them were swatted, which I didn't know about until I just read it now. That kind of sucks because, obviously swatting has been a big deal. Yeah, a lot of people have been swatted and such, and that's like really, really bad. That's like really horrible to do to somebody, because of a myriad of things can happen. But just for the simple fact, these guys, again, they're on developer teams. These are games that, this is their bread and butter, and they have to live amongst stuff like that. These things just really kind of like throw a monkey wrench in everything that's happening. It really sucks for them.
Don't
they
these
gotta
people
deal with stuff like
when
that.
you swat somebody, sometimes these people, like, because a lot can happen in a matter of a second, you swat someone, they could easily shoot you for no reason if they even think you have like a weapon or something.
It's a big deal. And, on top of that, again, I was going through it, and they were talking about how just, in the midst of all that happening during the DDoS attacks and stuff, some of the guys, some of the upper like executives of that company had some of their private information, their family information, their social security all compromised and actually just put out there. That really sucks. That's like horrible for them to deal with that. Like, I mean, I'm kind of speechless. Like, I will never understand it. Me personally, again, I don't think it's really my place to try and understand it. But I don't think that's very cool. Again, to have to deal with something like that.
What was that question?
I just said, how do you hate someone that much to do that?
Oh, hey, well.
Over a video game.
Hey, well, There's a lot of people out here that hate, so we understand.
Y'all need to fucking grow up. Is what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so was there another topic you wanted to mention, JJ?
Well, I think no. I think that was like some of the other stuff that pretty much happened outside of what we were originally discussing. Like that stuff that just happened recently, though.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Well, it's unfortunate that this stuff does happen. Hey, listen. Like I said, I haven't played the game. I haven't, that game that you mentioned before. I haven't heard anything about it. This is my first time hearing about it because I haven't really tried to download anything else off of PSN.
I will say this, like again, because I'm running a review for the site and such. The
Yeah.
game is pretty damn good. It really
Oh.
lends itself. It really lends itself to PvP because again, I really don't want to spoil a lot of it, so a lot of you guys play the game or when you read the review. But this game really lends itself to playing, with other people online. It's really addictingly fun.
Well, listen. That sounds excellent. Worth trying. But I will have to make sure that it actually works and that it will not destroy my PlayStation 4 before I try it out. Hopefully they address it. I know you said it's not a widespread issue, but yeah, it shouldn't be an issue at all. So hopefully they address that and they figure out what the problem is. We'll see. But there was another topic I wanted to jump into, and this topic is probably going to be a bit of a lengthy one because I know I got some complaints about this as well. Gary does because he's the one that came up with the topic. That is basically so. We need to ask the question: is 1 terabyte enough hard drive space for all these games? Whether it's PlayStation 4 or Xbox One is irrelevant because the games are just massive in size and scale, and then when you have the constant updates, it's always adding stuff to it. And it's funny that Gary brought this up because I heard today that the Witcher 3 DLC, the season expansion pass, is going to be almost the exact same size as the original game. So, yeah, since you brought this topic up, Gary, why don't you tell us what you think about 1 terabyte? If you think it's enough for consoles, or if we should just be given bigger hard drives from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like when they made these consoles, they was trying to drive the price down so they wouldn't cost so much. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
they really should have given better, options in terms of storage space. Because see, with PC, I'm good because like a lot of times the
Plenty of
games
space.
are optimized enough to where the size of the games aren't that large unless it's like an MMO or something like that, or something like Grand Theft Auto that has all these high res textures and stuff like that, with insane amounts of textures. But for the most part, PC games they're optimized for PC well enough to where the size isn't that large. But on consoles, it seems like these games are a lot more bloated. Like there's a lot more code, and I guess because they have to cater to each architecture and stuff. Like there's a lot more that they have to cram in there, and there's a lot of uncompressed data too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a problem in the coming years. Um, I mean, it's good that on the PlayStation 4 you can just you can buy your own hard drive. You can put a 2 terabyte hard drive in there if you want to.
Xbox, you get external storage, so
Yeah, and Xbox One you can use external. So I mean, there are different options there. It's just it's so annoying having to micromanage your storage capacity all the time. Like I have to always keep deleting things if I want to add new games and stuff like that. And I don't even want to buy a new hard drive for my PS4 because if I'm gonna buy a new hard drive, I'd rather buy a new part for my PC. So um, I'm never going to get around to doing that. So I'm stuck with the 500 gigabyte, PS4, and all these games that are coming out that are like 50 gigs and stuff. So it's like I can only have a few things on at a time, kind of thing. It's like
I don't have that many games. I could see if someone has a lot of games. I'm really picky about what I buy, so like I don't even think I'm still up to like around 400 some gigs because but I can see what people play a lot of. Like download a lot of games, but I don't install them if they're from Plus and stuff.
Yeah.
If I want to play it, I'll just install it. I don't really care if I gotta wait to play it. But yeah, like I said, that is annoying.
Yeah, man. But what would you think, Rich? Because I know you had issues with it too.
Well, my thing is this. Yeah, I clearly, everything you said is on point about. I know they had to drive down the price of the consoles, and therefore the hard drive space wasn't going to be there. But I have to say this. I've downloaded Mortal Kombat, and I downloaded, Batman Arkham Knight. Now, I wouldn't know about the disc version and whether or not that's a different size, although I do not believe that it is. But I can tell you right now, with the constant downloads and updates, Batman is about, I want to say about 50 gigabytes. Maybe no, 53. The patch update was about 4 gigabytes. So already that's about damn near 57 gigabytes. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is already around the same amount of space. So, I know you could say, yes, these are big, massive games. This is absolutely correct. But it would have been great if there were more options. The Xbox One is the same thing. I mean, I've already had to buy an external drive for the Xbox One because even though it says it's 500 gigabytes out the box, you already know it's not that. In the Microsoft
system resources.
Oh yeah, the Microsoft is a lot worse with that because their drive is about, I want to say it's about 350 instead of 500 because the OS takes up space.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, on all consoles, OS takes up a little bit of space, not a lot, but like it's still not a true 500 gigabyte open space like that.
No, I didn't know that on Xbox. He says
Microsoft.
Yeah, that's on all consoles. Like that's how it always is.
The Xbox One though, it takes up a ton of.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Not that it takes in general. He was just saying it takes up a lot on Xbox.
And I know that what I started doing is for PlayStation, I just started deleting games. I know that Tony does the same thing because you can always download the games again especially if you buy them digitally. It just makes more sense that way. But again, it would have been appreciated if these consoles had more space from the very beginning. I think the 1 terabyte, I do agree that that's probably not enough, but that's a hell of a lot better than 500 gigabytes.
Here's the thing, like, at least in my case, because I totally understand where you're coming from, and I find myself in the same position sometimes, and I do delete games that I stop playing or that I've either done with or I don't need anymore, with the exception of like maybe a few. When I find myself in the position now on my PlayStation 4, even though I got plenty of space left over. I mean, I have big, huge games on there. Like, I also have Mortal Kombat X on my system. I also have Final Fantasy XIV, which is a huge game with ridiculous patches on top of it, like weekly, that just takes up space on your hard drive. That's just the way it is because it's an MMO like that. But at the same time, what really kind of like, I think, is a big deal with having a larger hard drive space is that at times when you do find yourself having to delete games or whatnot, and especially if we're going to jump over to like another platform, I noticed this between my Xbox 360 that I had at the time over now to my Xbox One, where you won't sometimes have access to those previous downloadable games on from the previous platform on your new platform. Like, I find that with the Xbox One now, I had a bunch of Xbox Live games that I had at the time that I downloaded, and for whatever one reason or another, I'm not able to carry those over, even though they're Xbox Live arcade games, to my Xbox One and be able to play them like that. And I totally had to delete a bunch of them because I only had so much space on my Xbox 360 at the time. And I feel like it might end up being the same thing, moving forward after the PlayStation 4, after the Xbox One or whatnot. So I'm always cool with the extra hard drive space. There are times where I feel like I'm never going to reach the limit, and then sometimes I actually do, but like most of the time I feel like I'll never reach the limit for one reason or another, because of either maintenance on my console with my memory or I just don't download enough games like that. But still, I could totally understand where you're coming from, like, maybe just keeping the price down, and that was a thing at the time. And still, there was like more demand for the larger hard drive space, for having the games You know, having hard drives that are available that are like much bigger like that would be able to compensate for all these like ridiculously huge games that some of us are just end up buying digitally instead of buying on the actual disc.
Yeah. You know, the whole concept of deleting games is fine, but uh, keep in mind there's a hell of a lot of games coming out in the holiday season, and nobody wants to be deleting stuff. They actually want it on the system so they can go back and play it. So, um, yeah, the bigger hard drives would definitely be appreciated. Well, I said I know that neither company was going to have a large one. I mean, I know Microsoft now has the 1 terabyte models that they have started to put out there, um, and PlayStation as well. The PlayStation 4 terabyte model is coming out as well, so that's good. But yeah, I just think right out the gates they had to know 500 wasn't going to be enough. I mean, there's no way you could think that was going to be enough, especially if you're trying to push the whole concept of buying stuff digitally, which not really trying to do too much of, but I mean, when you're able to preload games and stuff like that, tells me that yeah, they obviously going in that direction because nobody wants to. It may not be a case where you can always get to a store at midnight to buy a game and right as soon as it comes out, or you don't want to wait till the next day, then just pre-order it online, get it right then and there. But what was you gonna say, Corey?
Oh, I just said that we're getting there with the digital.
Oh yeah, it's coming without question. We'll see. And, any other final thoughts on this topic?
No, I'm good.
All right, so one final topic that I wanted to talk about real quick, and this is something that I just looked at. This is going to be very brief. Not really surprising, but as you are aware, Microsoft is going to be at Gamescom next month. They also said today that they're going to be skipping Tokyo Game Show. So, do you have
Not
any
surprised.
thoughts on that? I mean, how bad are them sales for Microsoft over in Japan?
Bad. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there, like, pretty much, and they've acknowledged this a couple times here and there, that Japan is really not their market. You know, they're really not focusing a lot, they're not putting a lot of emphasis on the Japanese audience, because the Japanese audience, primarily, outside of, being the way they are with consoles and such, they're really moving more towards mobile or like handheld game systems. That's just the way that they're kind of like shifting now. Even though when it comes to console gaming, they still prefer their PlayStation and a little bit of their Nintendo console over everything else. It's just the games on the Microsoft platform really don't appeal to lots of Japanese audience. There's very few consoles that are Xbox Ones or any Xbox platform over in Japan. And that's fine. That's whatever. They could skip Tokyo Game Show and be totally fine, I believe. Obviously, for them, Gamescom is going to be a much bigger deal. More specifically this year, because a lot of the games that people wanted to see or had expected at some point to see at E3 that just passed were not there. So now they're more than likely, if not already confirmed, to be at Gamescom. I mean, you got Quantum Break, Scalebound, possibly Crackdown. There's games that are going to be, Microsoft games that are going to make a big splash at Gamescom this year.
Let me just say right there, what you just said, that last comment, I will be very surprised if all three of those games come out next year. I doubt that is absolutely true because, again, there's no dates on any of this stuff.
Quantum Break, most likely. Crackdown, I doubt it. I don't see it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they show another trailer. I mean, I think it'd be a cool idea. Now, preferably, and probably the smart way, just show Quantum Break and Scalebound. I think with there'll be enough, and then they show the rest of their fall lineup.
They definitely need to show Scalebound because we ain't seen nothing.
We ain't seen shit.
No, we haven't seen anything from that or Crackdown. But I think Scalebound specifically because they made a huge deal about that, and they've talked about it more times than they have like Crackdown or a lot of other games that they haven't shown a lot of. But even with just those two games, I feel like with just those two games, they should be fine, and they show the rest of their fall lineup.
Yeah.
At Gamescom.
Well, we'll find out about that. Any thoughts, Gary, on the Xbox?
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna show at Gamescom, man. And they really don't need to be at TGS, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Gamescom. I definitely want to see more Crackdown. and what's the name of that game? I keep forgetting the name. The one from Remedy.
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of those. And Scalebound, that would
And
be.
quite frankly, I want to see Alan Wake 2, but I guess we won't be seeing that.
Here's a question for you
Quantum
guys.
Break, I feel like we were supposed to see that game sooner, and they're kind of not quite the same situation. But I feel I sense this bit of like the Order situation with that, where like they were developing it, and then like they took a step back, and then they decided it needed more time in the oven. A little bit. I don't know. I got that feeling from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys, and just something that kind of pops into my head that I feel is a little bit interesting. Because we mentioned that Xbox or Microsoft is not really going to have a strong presence at TGS like that, keep in mind a couple things. Number one, Final Fantasy 15 is going to be shown at Gamescom. They're actually already confirmed they're going to make a stronger presence for that game at Gamescom. And obviously, that game is just not coming out on PlayStation 4. It's multi-platform. It's Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Do you still think, though, that they'll still be mentioning a lot of those games that are multi-platform, that are Japanese-centric games, technically, that will be shown at TGS more than likely because, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3 possibly, if not anything else? Do you still think they'll still mention them, if at all, or really kind of give any sort of nod about those games being on that platform at TGS despite Microsoft not being there?
What did they say about 7? Did they say 7 they aren't going to show anything until next year or say anything?
Final Fantasy 7, they didn't say much of anything at all. I did, find out a couple of
little TGS, did they say there'd be anything?
No, they didn't say anything about that at all.
Okay.
Well,
I think
Tony's going to be at TGS, right?
Wait, he is?
No, I'm asking. Sony's going to be there, right? At TGS.
Oh, I thought you said Tony.
Of course. No, Sony's going to be at TGS. Hell yeah. That's their market. That's one of their markets. I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's necessarily their home thing. If anything, I would argue that their home saloon is really Europe, because Europe shows a lot of Sony love.
Yeah, Europe, holy shit, Europe has everything.
But the Japanese market is definitely a big one for Sony, and besides Nintendo, Sony really kills it in Japan with a lot of stuff, especially games like that with a third party, that are big deals.
Remember, that's why Final Fantasy VII was they announced it, as they said that they needed to push specifically in Japan rather than announce it later. They wanted to announce it with a Star Ocean and a lot of these other JRPGs and stuff. And that's why they said it's to boost sales in Japan. That's the reason 7 was even announced.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily to boost sales in Japan. I think games like that, especially Final Fantasy and Star Ocean, have a legacy with the PlayStation brand, but that just gives them an extra exclamation point to really appeal to people that are in Japan looking to buy a console.
Shenmue doesn't have a legacy with the PlayStation.
Well, Shenmue doesn't, but I think, again, that's another exclamation point for people that have a resonance with that type of game, with Shenmue.
Shenmue's a little interesting.
They'll look at oh snap, PlayStation's already talking about Shenmue 3. Maybe I should go get a PlayStation 4. Again, it's another exclamation point, another reason to go buy a PlayStation console.
Yeah.
Right. There are many reasons to buy a PlayStation console. Right now,
well, right now there's only one, but
well, hold on, repeat that. What's that? You said there's only one. What's that?
Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne is awesome. Those that are into Call of Duty, they'll pick up the PlayStation 4 this holiday.
We were talking about that in the throne the other day. If I could people are underestimating. I don't give a shit about Call of Duty, but people dismissing that deal.
Yeah, they can't.
So that deal is really a big deal.
I don't think that thing is a big deal. The reason why is because I think it's
I don't care personally. I said we'll see, because there's some crazy fucking people.
Do you think it's going to influence sales a whole lot?
No, I don't. Because specifically with Call of Duty, I think that those guys that are Call of Duty hardcore were already on board for the longest time, already on the Xbox brand, and no matter what, even though the PlayStation platform is still going to get the DLC early and whatnot, they still got their friends on the Xbox brand. They still got their friends on the Xbox ecosystem.
Okay, I got a question. So what happens, right? What happens if Call of Duty Black Ops 3 comes out, right, and it sells the most on the Xbox One?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's really going to change. Maybe it might. As far as like who gets
That's a good
the
question.
DLC first, I think there's an exclusivity thing with PlayStation like that.
I feel like Activision did all these numbers ahead of time. There must have been something they saw that like it's got to be more than just sales. There's got to be something they saw that when they made that deal.
You know what? Going off of that, I think it was probably because also keep in mind, not too long ago there was the huge negative connotation with the Xbox brand because of all the stuff with the online DRM and stuff. That there was good talk about the PlayStation Network system. I mean, the PlayStation ecosystem. Like that. So maybe they're anticipating a lot of people that are getting these third-party games that are getting all these big titles that are coming out like in the fourth quarter of the year are going to be on the PlayStation platform. So why not cater to the people that has the most people buying games at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly install base, I guess.
Exactly. That was the word I'm looking for, install base.
But I do have a response to that question, Gary. I think Microsoft, they got some other things to worry about. The Call of Duty stuff, yeah, a lot of people will play a lot of shooters on Xbox.
That's the least of their problems.
Yeah, it is the least of their problems because they made the decision to make sure that Tomb Raider game comes out the exact same day as Fallout 4. That's one problem.
I know Michael said that wasn't a big deal, but
no. Well, no, it is a big deal still because I mean, of course, two different genres. So, but again, this is their holiday exclusive, as they say. So, yeah, that's.
Because my thinking is, if you can only buy one game in the fall, it's like, and keep in mind, Fallout 4 is multi-plat. If it comes down to it, what are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy Tomb Raider, which probably will be a very good game. I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah. Or you're gonna buy this possibly 200-hour RPG, or that's the thing. That's the choice it comes down to.
And that's the other thing. A lot of diehard fans did pre-order that Pip-Boy edition. So
it caused a controversy with that motherfucker.
That's insane. That Pip-Boy edition is insane.
A lot of money. A hell of a lot of money to spend in Tomb Raider come out.
And by the way, the guy who paid it with bottle caps is even more insane. The fact they even gave that to him was hilarious. Story
made my day.
That only shows you that the guys over there at Bethesda not only love their fan base and stuff, but have a lot of fun with them.
Oh yeah.
They do. Dude, did you hear about the guy that named his son Dovahkiin? Like they had the birth certificate. They said he gets like free of Bethesda games for life now.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, then again, I'm one to talk because I accept the fact that Robin Williams names his daughter Zelda and whatnot. So I can't really say anybody that kind of shows their love for any sort of gaming stuff, is insane. So it is very cool.
No, I thought that was neat. The bottle cap thing. I respect him. If Bethesda felt like, hey, if they had a sense of humor about it and they let him do it, good on them. So it's good PR, and it was nice. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. So, I think, are there any final thoughts? Well, I think
this
we're good. This
fall is going to be very interesting, to be sure.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Hey, listen, I have to say, I'm happy. I'm going to be playing a lot of stuff this fall.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I won't have to worry about playing on just one console and deleting games because I have space. I have space, so I have space on both. I'll make sure of that.
Everybody's getting something to play. Shut up and not bitch. Everybody's gonna have something.
Oh yeah. Well, there shouldn't be no complaints. There should be no.
Everybody's gonna have something.
Yeah, everybody should be just don't focus on no controversy this fall. Just focus on games. I don't want to see no controversy, out there. They got enough to focus on. So. We'll see. But I think that pretty much concludes this week's episode. You guys have any shout outs? I'll let you go first, Corey. You have any parting words, if you will?
I just want to thank Gary for letting me be on the show again, and you too. Appreciate that very much for it.
Hey, as always, pleasure.
Yeah,
just shut the fuck up and play.
Yeah, that sounds good. Any shout outs or final words, JJ?
Well, again, just shout out to the fans, all the listeners, the viewers out there. Keep allowing us to do what we love to do. We keep bringing you guys some good content. Shout out to all the new people that are checking out some of the new editorials and new reviews that have been going up lately. All the people that have been commenting and all saying all some good stuff. And also shout out to a couple good people that have been checking out also my own YouTube videos. I've been making a lot of vlogs and stuff on my own time, when I'm not working and such. I've been having a lot of people say some nice, cool stuff about it, which, is very encouraging. Very appreciative, man. You guys are the best. And again, I hope you guys keep checking out everybody's stuff. Everybody putting in all sorts of hard work, to all the content that they produce, video, editorial, podcasts, or otherwise.
Yeah, sounds good. How about you, Gary? Any shout outs, final words?
Yeah, shouts to Corey's cat.
Yeah, it's actually a new cat that I bought after my other one died.
Oh no. Yeah, I like cats, man. So shouts.
Yeah, thank you.
What's its name? Is it he?
It's actually a she, Sissy, because my dog's name is Missy.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
They actually get along very well, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's scratching you or anything. So
yeah, she just
that's a great thing.
Yeah, she's tired.
Very chill cat.
Yeah, shouts to all the listeners, all the commenters on the show and everything. Shouts to you guys. And shouts to everyone who showed interest in the t-shirts. Damien, he showed interest in the t-shirts and stuff. So, shouts to everyone who, showed some interest in that and put orders through and stuff. And yeah, that's about it from me.
Sounds good. I'd like to give a shout out to, of course, all the fans. Again, the ones that continue to support us and visit the site. There is some stuff that I have that's coming up that I will be talking about on the next show that you guys may be interested in. As you know, the summertime, there ain't really too many games during the summertime that come out, but we're doing a few things to keep you guys entertained, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, shout out to all the people that leave comments. We appreciate them. For those that did decide to check out or purchase a t-shirt, I thank you as well. We appreciate that. Mr. Kennedy also appreciates that because he is the one that set up that campaign. So definitely going to continue to, you'll see us have on some shirts in future episodes. That's for certain. Last but certainly not least, again, if you're watching this show on YouTube, you do have an option to make a donation if you want to by clicking on the I button in the video. Again, this show will always be free. You are not obligated to do that. I'm just saying if you wanted to, you can definitely do it. And that will go to improving the quality and all types of stuff for the show. But with that said, we'll always be free. We love doing this stuff, and we'll definitely have more stuff for you guys in the future. So until then, hope everyone has a great weekend. And we'll talk to you guys again next week. So take care. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
See ya.